grabs a chain to see what it's for, and to her surprise, a dead woman's body emerges. She soon discovers that there are several dead bodies on the ship. A nervous child wielding a sword confronts the Indian mother. Seeing no threat from the child, she pushes the sword away. The child lets go of the sword and breaks down. She then comforts the young warrior, wraps him with extra clothing as he is freezing, and takes him to her village. The young Viking warrior is not welcomed by the elders. He's clearly not one of them, and he can easily grow to become a monster and betray them just like those who came before him. The Indian mother joins in and puts them in their place. She points out that if they choose to abandon the child, they are the monsters. The child is then adopted as their own. A flashback reveals how the young child was disowned by his own father during a battle. In one of their raids, the child was asked by his father to kill another child. The young warrior refuses to obey his father and instead drops his sword. He is then severely punished. 15 years later, the young warrior is now a man and already has a name. They call him Ghost due to his paleness. He is now recognized in the village and wants nothing more than to be one of them and fight for them. Pathfinder and his daughter, Starfire, visit their tribe during a trading trip. Pathfinder confides with an Indian father that 3 of the 4 hunting parties died during an avalanche while hunting. One of those who died was supposed to replace Pathfinder. With his death, he needs to find another one within the tribe. The village will celebrate the Circle of the Braves tonight, and the Indian father wants Pathfinder to lead the observance. When night comes, the brave warriors of the Wampanoag are called to be celebrated. When Starfire is about to put war paint on Ghost, her father reminds her that Ghost has not earned it yet as he is still haunted by the demons of his past. Unless he faces his demons, he can't be there. Ghost walks out of the room and swears to create his own path. The Indian father comforts Ghost, who is apparently experiencing an identity crisis due to being from a Viking lineage while being raised by the Wampanoag tribe. The Indian father assures him that he is one of them despite being a Viking. One day, while Ghost is out to hunt, the village is raided again by the Vikings. The villagers are brutally killed while their houses are burnt to the ground. Ghost returns only to find out that the entire village has been wiped out. Some of the dead bodies are even devoured by wild wolves. The Ghost then finds his mother, who is also killed, and breaks down. From a distance, he can hear the Vikings screaming. They are still nearby. Ghost heads towards their location only to witness another villager being executed. The Vikings are intrigued by Ghost as he looks different from the villagers. He is given a sword to fight one of the Norsemen. Ghost manages to seriously injure the Viking and then runs away. Viking leader, Gunnar, demands Ghost's head. The hunt is on. Ghost is being pursued by the Vikings. They are dead set on killing him. They use dogs to trace his trail and even an eagle to locate his location. He kills 2 Vikings who come close to him and steals one of their horses to get away. He also uses a shield to slide down a snowy hill. One Viking manages to hit his back with an arrow. Ghost ends up falling from a waterfall and disappears into the water. That gives him the chance to get away for now. Gunnar is not thrilled to find out that his men failed to bring the head of Ghost. He kills one of the Vikings who chased Ghost. They need to find him as he will lead them to the next village. Gunnar wants to wipe all the villagers out before they will settle in the area. The only way to do that is to leave one of the villagers alive and force him to take them to the next one. Starfire, along with the other hunters, is following the trail of the wounded bear. They can sense that their prey is nearby. The trail leads them to a stone cave. They go inside only to get startled by a movement. The hunters prepare to attack, but instead of a wounded bear, it's Ghost who comes out. He is reunited with Starfire and the rest of the hunters. He warns them to run away as the Vikings are on their way before he collapses. While Starfish is checking in on Ghost, the bear comes out and starts charging at them. Now they are in a very vulnerable position. Pathfinder creates a distraction and lures the beast to attack him instead. He lowers his head for the bear to believe that he's not a threat. When the bear is about to pounce at him, he uses a pointed stick to kill it. The strategy works as the bear is killed while Pathfinder comes out unscathed. Ghost is being treated, and the arrowhead is recovered from his back. Pathfinder tells his people that the arrowhead comes from the dragon people. Dragon people is what they call the Vikings. A ghost warns them that the Vikings will kill them and let one of them live so that the survivor will lead them to the next village until all the villagers are totally wiped out. Ghost tells them that running away is their best chance of surviving. Fighting against the Vikings is a terrible idea. The Vikings used far more advanced weaponry and were also using armor that arrows couldn't penetrate. They don't stand a chance. Pathfinder tells Starfire and another Indian to lead the people to a safer place to escape. They are to follow the East Trail as the West Trail is prone to avalanches. That's where some of his men were killed. Ghost prepares to return to the forest and plans to kill as many Vikings as he can. This is his only plan at the moment. He is joined by Jester, a mute villager who decides to go with him no matter how many times he asks him to leave. Together, the two set up traps and camp in the forest. They are then joined by Starfire. Ghost is surprised to see her there as she will be in danger, but she's made up her mind to join him. They then make love and spend the night together. The Vikings can find their camp, but they are not prepared for the traps placed the night before. Ghost is able to kill a few Vikings as well, while Starfire hides under a makeshift footbridge that can also be used as a weapon. Starfire and Jester come out of hiding and start killing a few Vikings as well. The remaining Vikings are ready to complete the task of killing them. They are a few inches away from stepping into a deadly trap. Just when they are about to move closer, some villagers arrive to fight against the Vikings. Ghost can only scream in horror as the villagers fall into the trap. Ghost and Starfire run towards the stone cave. One Viking almost catches Starfire, but she is able to kill him. Separated from Ghost, Starfire does her best to hide, but one Viking eventually corners her. Jester comes to the rescue and starts poking the Viking. To his surprise, the Viking's armor is too strong for his weapon. The Viking lets go of Starfire and focus on killing Jester. Ghost and Starfire are now reunited. They are still hiding away from the savages who are getting closer. One of the villagers is tied upside down and about to be burnt alive, which is to lure them into coming out. Starfire begs for Ghost not to give in. Pathfinder kills the villager with an arrow to prevent the man from suffering a painful death. While the move is honorable, that also puts them in a vicarious situation. The Vikings are now aware of where their location is. That leaves them no choice but to confront and fight against them. When the fight is over, the three are captured. The Vikings want to know where the next village is. Since nobody is willing to speak, Pathfinder is then brutally killed. Ghost is now confronted by the Viking leader, Gunnar. He tells Ghost that he knew his father and that he knew he was the boy that came with the Vikings during a raid years ago. Starfire's hands are about to be chopped as they wait for Ghost to give in and tell them where the location of the next village is. Ghost swears to take them to the next village and begs them not to harm Starfire. He speaks in their language. Starfire is not happy with Ghost's decision. The Ghost explains to Starfire that what her father taught him is what he's doing. He remembers what her father mentioned about the danger of going west due to the threat of an avalanche. Ghost suggests that they go around the lake as it's safer there. While this is true, Ghost also wants to hit the egos of the savages. They don't want to be labeled as weak, so the suggestion is immediately rejected. Instead of going around, they decide to pass through the lake. As they start marching on the frozen lake, the ice starts to break, then the inevitable happens. The ice breaks, and they fall to the lake. Ghost loses consciousness and sinks to the bottom. He is awakened from a dream after being punched by Pathfinder in his sleep. He is told that he needs to find the next Pathfinder. The Vikings retrieve him from the lake and force him to lead them to the next village. Ghost can already see the possibility of an avalanche from a distance. Walking on a very steep corner of a cliff, he suggests that they tie themselves together. The Ghost then asks Starfire to hit him. The Vikings have no idea what the next move will be. The Ghost then pretends to be furious and uses a slingshot to prepare to retaliate, but instead of hitting her, he hits the face of the last Viking at the back. He then falls down. He creates a domino effect in the process, and the Vikings start falling one at a time. Gunnar is able to make it. He then fights Ghost while both of them are hanging from the cliff. At one point, Gunnar starts dropping stones at Ghost. An avalanche starts to plunge down the mountain. Gunnar falls with it and lands near Ghost. The Ghost then kills him. The movie ends with Starfire able to reach the next village where her people are hiding. She is certain that Ghost has been killed. Moments later, Ghost arrives